Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson football channel. As you can see behind me, we've got the phone back, we've got the microphone back, we have got a cup of coffee that is now a water, and we have got a new GBFC notebook where I make my footballing notes. And look what it says, without me realising this, it says, "Oh dear," all over the bottom. A different kind of dear, but when I look at the notes inside it, "Oh dear" is very much the topic of conversation, and it's, well, brilliant purchase, I guess, really. I'm hoping that by the time that we can get through this amount of pages, we've not actually wrote that much so far, I'm hoping that by the time we get to the back of that book, there's more positive notes to be made about Chelsea. There's more positive notes to be made about the board, the manager, the players. Again, I feel like I've done these videos quite often, but it's important that we kind of understand where we're at. Read the comments for the Man United 6 Things We Learned video. Read the comments to the Sheffield United 6 Things We Learned video. And something is very, very clear to me. When Chelsea win, I feel as though there is an element of luck. And there is an element of individual brilliance. And there is a severe lack, let's say, of any genuine forward movement, genuine progression when it comes to the word team. Not like the word team. Team. Chelsea, over the years, we've been a team. Under Jose Mourinho, when we won the Premier League in 2005, that was a team. Ancelotti, 2010, that was a flipping team. Even Antonio Conte in 2017, that was a team. There were individual moments and individual players within those teams that were bloody brilliant, that could pull something out of nothing, the rabbit out of the hat. Chelsea have got that now. And it is in the form of a 21-year-old from Man City, Cole Palmer. He is the bloke that can pull the rabbit out of the hat and save Chelsea when things aren't going well. But the issue is, there is no team to be seen anywhere. So Cole Palmer has contributed 50% either goals or assists of Chelsea's goals in the Premier League this season. Absolutely mental to think that we're relying on a player that even last year was not really wanted by Man City as a first-team player. Pep Guardiola was like, all right, well, we can't guarantee you this. We want to send you on loan. But if you don't want to go on loan, then see you later, mate. Do you know what I mean? And it's nothing against Palmer. It's nothing against Man City. They've obviously got a phenomenal squad. They drew 3-3 in Madrid. Unbelievable game of football. Chelsea is so reliant on Cole Palmer. And if you take his brilliance out of the equation, bloody hell. I know it's one of those hypothetical scenarios where there's not really much point in looking into it. I don't think Chelsea would be relegated. I think there are definitely 3 worse clubs than us over the course of a season. We are playing against some of these teams that are pretty much already gone, and we don't look better than them. We don't look as though we've spent £1 billion. And all season long, I've been kind of yo-yoing between, well, we've got to address how much money we spent on the players because we spent a lot of money. And then I'm like, well, no. Let's just forget how much it is. And it's a process and they're going to come good. We've got the youngest squad in the league, blah, 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 blah. And then everything keeps coming back to the same question for me. And I've got it written down here in this book. And the issue that I have with the questions that I have right now about Chelsea is that the best answers I can find is just to ask another question, to deviate away from that path, because the answer is very difficult. The answer is almost impossible to answer to get us from point A, which is where we are right now, which we don't want to be, a mid-table team, drawing 2-2 against the bottom of the league and the 19th in the league within 1 week. We want to be fighting for European places, fighting for trophies, and looking like a team. And this is the problem. We've won enough matches in the cup competitions this season to get to a Carabao Cup final, get to an FA Cup semi-final, but the majority of these games that we've been playing have been against teams from the Championship and below, a couple of them in the Premier League, but every single one has been at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea have been lucky this year when it comes to the domestic cup draws. Last year, we were unlucky. We drew Man City twice. You don't expect to win, whether that's home or away. So we've got the rub of the green. We've made it to a final. We're in a semi-final. There's something still to play for. It keeps coming back to the fact that we are not a team. Who do I blame for this? The problem is I don't have a definitive answer. Because you can't necessarily say to a 21-year-old, you've got to be a Champions League quality player, get Chelsea to the Champions League, when all of them are around 20 to 25 max years old. Very few of them are 25 plus. It's mental to say that when you've spent $1 billion and you've bought all of them super young compared to everyone else, to ask them to be that now is very difficult to do. Yes, that can be expedited. You can get that done quicker, getting those players to that standard, when you've got a manager with a clear vision, with a clear strategy, and with a clear way of playing. The issue with Pochettino is that there's not been any kind of stylistic development to the way that Chelsea play all season. There's been improvements in front of goal. We've created a lot of chances. We've started scoring a lot of goals, but it's at the detriment to conceding at the back. We went from not conceding to conceding twice a game every game. We went from not scoring to scoring 2 or 3 every game. It's not sustainable. And if you keep drawing games 2-2, winning 1 4-3, winning 1 3-2, losing 4-2, you end up about 10th, which isn't good enough for what Chelsea expect to be. You look at tactical implementation, patterns of play, consistency is a word that springs to mind. You want to consistently see improvements. You want to see some consistency from players within the team that aren't always just Cole Palmer. We don't get that. We've absolutely not got that. All season long, Pochettino has been screaming out to build a connection with the fans. We're not really screaming. He's kind of just been like speaking really quiet. He gets a bit of a buzz against Man United, and then immediately the ending against Sheffield United, there are 4 players again who go over to the away fans who have travelled all the way up to Yorkshire to give a clap. Pochettino's buggered off again. So he talks about being desperate to build a connection with the fans, and then he gets his moment against Man United at Stamford Bridge. And then 3 days later, not even, it's 2 days basically, he's buggered off again. And you've got however many away fans there were, a couple of thousand, and Bramall Lane, who are like, but we have just witnessed rubbish. We have just witnessed not a team again. And I keep making the same point here because this is the issue that I've got, and the reason why I'm over it. I'm absolutely over it. I want to see a new manager in Chelsea right now, because no matter what we think about the performances, we're not improving. Yes, we've improved with the goals, but then overall it's a results-based business, and we're not getting them enough. We're not getting enough results. Chelsea had an opportunity. We had an opportunity to build on the Newcastle win, to then build on the Man United win. Sandwiched between that, you've got 2 diabolical performances. You've got substitutions in the Man United game and the Newcastle game that do well. Then you've got substitutions against Sheffield United that are just awful. Zero consistency. Constantly relying on Cole flipping Palmer. And Chelsea cannot be in a position where we're relying on one player who's 21 years old. It's mad. It's when things are inconsistent and the players seemingly get up for the big games and not the small ones, you need a motivator. And the motivator's got to be the guy on the sidelines at Cobham, on the sidelines in a match, who can get the players and be like, we're playing for that guy, so we're going to fight. We're going to give everything. And Pochettino, plain and simply, is not that guy. The players don't look over to him and think, I've really got to give my all for him. And for whatever reason, there's a massive disconnect between the fans who are still giving everything, particularly on away games. Fans are still giving everything, and yet it doesn't seem to be energetically reciprocated by the players. So if we can see that as fans, it's the manager's duty to get that reaction, get that response. And Pochettino just simply doesn't do that. So for that reason alone, at this point, I'm like, he's not my manager. He is not the manager to take Chelsea from 10th or 11th, 9th at best, into the European places. Pochettino is not that guy. I have seen enough this season. It's a problem. If you're not scoring, it was a problem at the start of the season. Now, if you can't stop conceding, it's still a problem. Problem. Individual brilliance, no team cohesion, and in my opinion, very little progression. We get glimpses, we get glimmers, we get short bursts, but then even Burnley get a good result once in a while. Do you know what I mean? The issues don't all just sit with Pochettino, though. The players are too young, and a lot of them are not ready yet to be Champions League contending players. Point number one. The board are the guys that keep on buying these players and insisting that we want to buy 20-year-olds. We don't want to buy leaders. Chelsea need leaders. Pochettino has alluded to this himself. So part of me looks at Pochettino and I do feel slightly sorry for him. But the reality of the situation is, it's a results business. He's not getting the results. And someone needs to motivate the average players and make some of them good enough to take some of that pressure off Palmer. Deliver more. Pochettino isn't motivating them enough. Absolutely nowhere near enough. And the issue is that it's all of the decisions above him that are giving Poch a hand that he's been dealt that he just can't win. He just can't win. And he isn't good enough to turn that on its head by himself. So for that reason, I think it's time for Poch to go. We've got a cup semi-final. The issue is, I don't have the answer to the question about who is the next guy? Who's the next manager? Ruben Amorim is going to go to Liverpool. Xabi Alonso's staying at Bayer Leverkusen. We've already been through all of the other elite managers. Ancelotti's not going to come back, is he? De Zerbi, I'm not convinced by him. So maybe we just stick with... I can't even say it without getting annoyed. I can't even say stick with Pochettino without just being like, oh dear. If the players aren't good enough because they're too young, well then, you can't just click a wand and make them experienced. They've got to keep playing. When it comes to the transfer window, I think the policy is going to stay the same. I don't think the club have the interest to see what we all see. That we need leaders on the field. That we need older players to help nurture some of these young ones when they're clearly not inspired enough by what's on the sidelines. I don't know if that's going to be the case this summer. We're going to have to wait and see. But Pochettino, mate, I really wanted to back you. When we win, I'm happy for him. It's not like I'm not just hating Poch because he was managing Tottenham. I'm way past that. At the beginning, before we kicked a ball in pre-season, I was like, you've got to do a lot, mate, to win me over because you're Spurs. I don't like Tottenham. Simple as that. I've never hid that. It's obvious. I'm a Chelsea fan. I don't like Spurs. Pre-season, he started to win me over. And then it's constantly been like, there's just no balance. There's no continuity. And I don't see it improving. I really don't have any belief that he can turn it round. My voice is going again. I've been sick for like the last 10 days or so, guys. But I'm back now, back in the studio. And I'm trying to think of some answers, of things that I can genuinely suggest that would make this better. But right now, I just don't think Poch is motivating the players enough. It's as simple as that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. What do you want for our club right now? Thoughts in the comments. Come on, you Blues.